the other five. Oh, I'm sorry, man, you were killing me. Anyway, but that's the moment. The guy went crazy, got me a screen test, and I ended up in Jim Brooks's office. And I read for the part. Mandy Patinkin was reading for Judd Hirsch's part, so I read with him, and I got it in a crazy way. One minute I was fighting 8 rounders in Prospect Hall, the next minute I was on TV, the #1 show in the country. You know, it was incredible. No, there's no applause necessary. No applause necessary. But my point in all that, you know, as far as you guys are concerned, not just to tell you the story, is that if I hadn't been fortunate, I don't know what, I mean, I don't know where I would have ended up. I went to school to be a teacher. But when I got out of school, I thought I was too young to teach anybody anything, and I really didn't, you know, I just didn't have that. And by the way, having done it for a year, it takes a lot. It really does take a lot. It was 181 days, not that I was counting.
Except for those snow days.
Well, you know, I hate to tell you, I hated snow days, because when I was in Philadelphia, is when they got 71 inches in a week and a half. They more snow than in the history of a city that has a lot of history, you know. And I couldn't believe it, but snow days, I used to live for them. I could remember sitting at the windowsill, seeing how much snow there was. Oh, it's a little bit higher, you know. But for a teacher, you just lose your momentum. You know, you got something going in class, and then 3 days later they come back and go, what were we doing? You know, you start from scratch. So I didn't particularly like the snow days. But anyway, so then I went to Hollywood. I've been lucky, not only was I in a great show, but I got another show after that, which was Who's the Boss? We ran for 8 years. We did 200 episodes. You know, that changes your life in a big way. I've been lucky enough to work with some of the great actors. I've been on Broadway 3 times. I've worked with Arthur Miller on A View from the Bridge, with George C. Scott, and I've just been fortunate to be around when some of the greats were alive. Like I hung out with Sinatra, you know, I knew Sammy Davis, you know, that kind of thing. So I really have this sort of great timing in life, you know. When I was a fighter, the great trainers were alive. The guy that taught me how to fight was named Chicky Ferrara. Yeah, and Freddie Brown, and if anybody's a fight fan, these are names that you read in A.J. Liebling's book, The Sweet Science. So, but anyway, that's my history. Any questions? Anything? Anybody? Who's an actor? Liam, so you're an actor, right? You want to be an actor?
Aspiring, yeah.
Yeah, well, you gotta say I am.
I am.
There you are. Yeah, you got any questions about what you might have to do, or how you might pursue this? How do you feel? How are you doing it? What are you going to do to become an actor?
Well, you were going to talk. I was just going to listen.
Well, I'm just going to. Well, you know, before we go on, since we have you up, Leo, you know, this week. Is it week? Yeah. This week's Student of the Week. This ain't it? There we go. Flying in. This week's, yes, flying in. See? That's the showbiz terms. Flying in. Anyway, this week's Student of the Week. Guess what, Liam? How about that? I mean it. It means something. That's great. And Liam, so go ahead. Give me a little, man, maybe I can help you.
Well, I bet you could.
You know, now that we're pals, you know.
Tony Danza we're talking about. But, I mean, I'm with an agency, so that's just, I got really lucky, because I knew a couple people, and they were like, oh, he's a funny kid, so let's get him in, like, Abrams. And I was like, oh, great.
Cool.
But I just
by the way, getting an agent is one of the hardest things to do.
Yeah.
One of the hardest things, because they don't want to bother with you because they have to make money. They don't want to, you know, it's easier to have somebody that's established that can go out and immediately turn some profit. But to take a shot on people is terrific. So you get an agent, now what?
And I just got 2 voiceover gigs, so that's, I mean, it's going all right. And I'm not really getting out there yet, but I just joined after too, so that's you know, helping me move along. But
Yeah, because you got the job, so you gotta have a job to get into union.
yeah.
But you can't be in a union unless you have a job. Wait, hold on a second. Yeah, go ahead.
It's 22,
Yeah.
exactly. It's, but, I mean, I was just wondering, like, do you, because I haven't really, I mean, I'm sort of relying on my agent to send me out, and I don't know if, I mean, that's a good thing to have an agent, but like, I don't know if I should go take a course, or like a camp, or something.
Oh, wait a minute. So you mean it may be something you have to do? Yeah, see, this is that same thing about you guys, about people taking responsibility for their own education. You know, so many times you hear, when I was in this Philadelphia school system, you'd hear, you gotta engage the kids. You gotta engage the children. You must engage the students, all right? So now what? The kids walk in and go, engage me. Come on, teach me. The kids have to take part in it. I'm taking a course right now. I don't know. I had nothing to do, so I took a 10-week. I'm taking a 10-week introduction to Sandy Meisner course. You know what that stuff is? You know, it's like you have a green shirt. I have a green shirt. You have a green shirt.
We actually studied that in acting
Yeah.
class. That was the
So
first thing
what
we
I'm saying is, one of the things that I really have found in this reflective age that I speak of is that you can't stop being a student. You really can't. And especially to begin with, you have to be a student. You know, when you get out there, Liam, when you get out there, you're going to see how much competition there is. And the only thing that you can do to stave off that competition, to put yourself in line with that competition, is to have some technique, to have some training, to fall back on, so that you have this confidence. When you know what you're doing, then you can walk in like, you know, and it's all about confidence. I mean, you can fool it, you can fake it, but it's when you really know what you're doing, that's really the key. So I'm sitting in this course with a bunch of people saying, hey, you got a striped shirt. You're supposed to say, I have a striped shirt. You gotta say that. You have a striped shirt.
I have a striped shirt.
You have a striped shirt.
Oh, yeah,
And you keep going back and forth until something blows up. Yeah. Yeah, it drives you crazy. 3 hours of that, you want to kill yourself. You know? But my point is that you have to keep studying. I mean it, Liam. I think that if you build on that student of the week thing and work hard on this, there's no turning, there's no setting you back. And you know, the internet. You know, somebody, you know, Amy said she didn't have the internet, she didn't have computers. You can go on the internet now and just do anything. You can learn anything on the internet, anything. I mean, it's I'm learning while my guitar gently weeps on the ukulele. Yeah, the guy Shimmer Bakura does it. It's unbelievable. It's very difficult. I'm more 5'2", eyes are blue. You know, but that, you know, that brought the ukulele actually because not that I'm good at it, but it's a point I make about, you know, being a student and. So many props. Being a student, here it is. This is the flea. Yeah, it's called the flea. Yeah, it's really cool. It's really cool. First of all, this is how I got to learn this thing. I got a thought for the day calendar. You know, one of those thought for the day calendars. Today it said a father's job is to warn their children of the perilous things in their lives, and a mother's job is to catch them when they fall. And I said, baloney. Full jobs of the fathers. Anyway, but anyway, so it said, one day it said, April 24th, 5 years ago, it said, get a ukulele, a chord book, practice 30 minutes a day for 30 days. At the end of that time, you'll play for the rest of your life. So I did it, and I had a calendar, and I crossed out and after 30 days, I could play it. It's unbelievable. And it's really becomes like, you know, it's like, I sleep with it. I mean, it's really gotten sick. But like, you know, you can do like, you know, Hawaiian stuff.
It's like Elvis.
You know, you can do that stuff. Or you can do 5'2". 5'2", eyes are blue. Oh, what those blue eyes do. Anybody see my gal? You know, that kind of stuff. What I try to do is that, you know, he had a little bit of, nah, forget it. I try to like adapt the American songbook to it, like, you know, guess I'll hang my tears out to dry. You wouldn't hear that on a ukulele, you know. When I want rain, I get sunny weather. I myself together. Guess I'll hang my tears out to dry. So anyway, but the point is that I didn't touch this. It's just that you could learn anything if you want to. Just
You know
put
you
your
got
mind
it,
to it.
Tommy. Don't say like, ah, you can learn it. You know you got it. You have control.
Well, no, but it took a while. You should have seen how, how stiff I was with it. No, I'm just, I do mean that. So, any other questions? Come on, yes.
When you discovered acting, had you ever considered it before in your life, or did it just fall into your lap?
That's a good question. I had been, in high school, I was in the musical. They had the musical, and I had a teacher who told me, I told him to be a fighter, he told me, you should be an actor. I mean, there was some talk of it. But I didn't pursue it. It's one of the things that bothers me. It's another one of the regrets I have for him, is that, here I was, I had a chance to do that, even if just to be around the girls in the drama. I didn't even take advantage of that, so, and it's one of the things that bothers me, and subsequently, after I got on the show, I studied, and I continue to study. And sometimes studying drives you crazy, because it makes it, it used to be easy, to just go out and pretend. And now you're trying to live honestly to an imaginary circumstance. I mean, that's what acting is, trying to live honestly. I saw a movie last night, and I saw Death of a Salesman. Seymour Hoffman, Phillips, unbelievable. I'm going to tell you something, guys. I mean it. I've seen this play many times. It's a masterpiece of American literature. And I actually was friends with Miller, and I don't mean to drop a name on you, Don't drop names. My friend Bobby De Niro told me that. but it was so moving, and the reason it was so moving is he is so real. The guy is so real. The woman, this woman is this young woman. You see her backstage, this young woman on stage, old lady. And you don't even for a second think, wow, it can't be real. So really living in a moment that's made up is really the key. I saw this movie that's on the French movie, I can't remember her name, she was so beautiful. The director, actress, and writer. She did it all. It's amazing. It's just incredible. The girl is Muriel Les Adaptes is the name of the... Mi piace di parlare in italiano, perché la gente non possono parlare. It's something my uncle used to drill into my head every day when I was a kid. An old Italian saying, it goes, "Quello che vi dica mangia, quello che non vi dica, mangia e via." Let me say it again, because it feels so cute. Quello che vi dica mangia, quello che non vi dica mangia e via. And that means something my uncle used to drill into my head. It means those who work eat, and those who don't work eat and drink. Why he was telling me, that's a whole other story. I do have a cookbook, yeah. All right, so I have a cookbook. I wrote a cookbook with my son. I have an older son, by the way. I did another thing that you shouldn't do. Is that I got a girl pregnant in college, and my sophomore year. And we got married, and we have a son. He's 41 now. And he has two boys. I have two grandsons, Lucas and Nicholas. And we wrote a cookbook together because what happens when you have a son young like that, there is one good, there's a lot of good things, because he's my pal, and we wrote together. But one good thing is that he gets to be around your relatives. Because my girls, I have two girls, 24 and 19, they never didn't meet my father, let alone my uncles and my aunts. And I used to have this incredible family of, my mother had six brothers, my mother had six brothers and sisters, altogether, six, they were six, 5 brothers and sisters. And they each had spouses, obviously, and they were our uncles and aunts, and they were like other parents to us. They could actually beat us. That was part of the deal. They were allowed to discipline you, that was part of the deal. But they were great characters, my Uncle Vinny, who taught me how to steal. I mean, that's what he taught me. He would, listen, my Uncle Vinny would give you a card, like he'd teach you how to play poker, right? At the end of the lesson, you owed him 50 grand in your mother's house. That's the way he that was one of them. I had another uncle with a pinky ring and drove a wildcat, And so we wrote this book, tying the recipes from the family to each of the relatives. I told a story about the relatives. Yeah, it's called Don't